Yeah, hello, my name is Leo Bowen. Today I'm talking about the initiative process and referendum process in the Arizona Constitution. So the first question was to provide the basic definition of both the initiative process and the referendum process. Um, so the initiative process allows citizens to get signatures in order to place new statutes, laws, amendments, constitutional amendments on the ballot. And then the referendum process allows citizens to vote to keep a law or repeal any already established law that's been passed. So the second question is to explain how initiatives and referendums are created. So the creation of initiatives starts by the collection of signatures from registered voters in Arizona. Once the signatures are collected, then the initiative becomes available next election. The voters can vote yes to enact that law or amendment that was proposed, or no to keep the existing law. Um, a referendum is created when a group or an organization or even any individual collects signatures in the same way as the initiative process to support the law that's proposed. When all signatures are collected, they're handed off to the Secretary of State. And if enough signatures were collected, the bill will be placed in the ballot during the next general election. A vote yes will allow the bill to take effect, and a vote no will veto that bill. So the third question, compare and contrast initiative and a referendum. So these two are contrasted and compared a lot. There's a lot to it, especially if you kind of think of it in the way that the U.S. Constitution and Arizona Constitution can be compared and also contrasted. A lot of similarities, but also a lot of differences. So I'm going to start with the differences, the contrast, and it's that the initiative process obviously allows citizens to vote to add statutes or amendments, whereas the other allows citizens to replace or keep them. Initiative is an act of direct democracy, which I didn't know a lot about until I did this assignment. I knew what it was, but I didn't know a lot about it. So I learned a lot during this assignment. While referendum is an act of representative democracy, the similarities of both are that they ensure rights and of wish of the citizens, and they also both seek to bring democratic change. Um, that similarity sounds simple, and it is, but they do both bring a voice to citizens to forge their own path, change their state how they want it to be. Their only limitation is themselves. Again, it's not necessarily saying that every proposed law is going to be accepted. Every law that's vetoed is, going to be vetoed if there's not enough votes. But it still gives them a chance to think for themselves and have a say in what goes on. So the fourth question, which was discuss the pros and cons of each, I'll start with the advantages of the initiative. It allows for the legislature and their activities to be checked. Think of it like a checks of balance of power. It allows the citizens to check the legislature, and it also makes them more responsive. The legislature makes them more responsive simply because now they have the citizens checking them. Um, it helps provide more integrity, I think, for the legislature, uh, more responses in a timely manner because they know they're being watched, they're being hounded maybe, and they know that it's not just on them anymore, and the citizens do have a say and can control some of the stuff that goes on. I would say the disadvantage, though, of the initiative process is just simply that there's going to be bad amendments and law proposals. Uh, I don't want to call it a waste of time, but if you think percentage wise, it's just going to be people who the laws they want to enact don't really have anything to do with the good of the state or the general public, but more themselves. And that's kind of what I mean by bad amendments or laws. And just the sheer amount of like laws and proposals in general for amendments, it would be just simply crazy. Again, you think of it percentage wise. I don't know the exact population of Arizona, but think about all the people who are eligible to propose a law, and all those combined, that's so many to process. So I definitely think that would be a disadvantage to it, an issue they'd have to deal with, come up with a plan to deal with that. So let's move on to referendums. I would say an advantage, first off, is that just simply that it gives citizens a direct say in the decision making process. So they can say whether or not to keep a law, to veto a law, And I think that's important whenever there's laws that you don't like. And there's a lot of laws that a lot of people don't like. And I'm not saying that some of them aren't necessary, because I'm sure some of them are, to keep structure. But some of the ones that hurt not just one person's lifestyle, but the general public's lifestyle, the citizens of the state itself. If it's a law that hurts them as a whole, that's something that they can review and decide to veto. And I think that's a step in the right direction when it comes to free will and freedom, but also in a controlled setting to where it can't explode into something that's not freedom anymore, but more of dictatorships, and turns into a supremacy type thing. Um, it also allows their citizens to express their opinions on particular issues, which not a lot of people get to do simply because I feel like a lot of places have agendas and a lot of them don't have the time to discuss everything in detail as a lot of people want to do. Same kind of thing, US Constitution, Arizona Constitution. US Constitution, it's widespread. It talks about all 50 states, but it's not detailed in its framework because it has so many things to cover. It can't detail everything because it would just be going on forever. Whereas the Arizona Constitution can and does have a detailed framework because it simply is talking about the state of Arizona itself. I would say a disadvantage to the referendum is groups that are maybe special interests or have specific interests that band together, that can kind of control the process itself, which sadly means that it doesn't always it doesn't always project or reflect the general public's views and opinions. It also can be very divisive when voting for referendum. And so the last question we'll talk about today is just basically explaining how initiatives and referendums support the idea of direct democracy as outlined in the Arizona Constitution. Simply put, I would say it does support it, uh, just for the fact that both of them give citizens a voice, give citizens power, not necessarily over the government, but with the government. It's kind of cohesive to where no one thing has too much power, which I believe is balance, yin and yang that you need. You can't have one reign supreme over the other, or one go unchecked and one checked. So I would say overall that because they allow everyone who is eligible, of course, to have an opinion, and that opinion matters, that helps support the idea of direct democracy. Thank you for watching my video today. Again, I'm Leah Bell.